Welcome to Sag Soul Sisters with Allie and Mags, where science meets the soul. We're two moms and wellness professionals on a mission to help you find clarity and confidence in your health journey. Every episode brings you science-backed tools for nutrition, fitness, and stress recovery, plus a dose of cosmic energy to help you align, grow, and feel unstoppable. Let's do it. All right, girl, then we are ready to go. And I am so excited to actually ask you these questions because I don't think that I've actually talked to you about how you got started with everything and, where your past has led to it. We've gone through a lot of it in our conversations, but I don't think it's ever been like fully laid out the way that we're going to today. So I'm excited to
Yeah,
learn more about you.
there it
So
goes.
for everybody listening, this is Mags, and I am going to be chatting with Allie today about how we kind of got into this whole health and fitness world and what it means for not only our careers personally in our lives personally, but also how we want to use that to help other women, validate other women, and give them a space where they can absorb valuable information about how to better their lives holistically, but also how to apply it in a very uh,
Um,
sustainable way. So little by little, as opposed to all at once, is kind of the main goal, right? And so we figured that talking about our stories first will be a way to help you understand how we got to the point we are at. And by no means are we anywhere near our potential of what we want for our own health and fitness. We are works in progress as well. But we have had a lot of experience in our individual paths that we can hope to share with others. And
yeah, for
add to
sure.
that?
And also how we like to integrate our little loves with us too. Because so often whenever you become a mother, you start to abandon yourself because you think everything goes to your children instead of being like, hey, actually, I'm not abandoning myself by saying yes. You get to take care of yourself first, and then you get to love your children well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah. Put your face mask on first and then help the little ones. So yeah, we're
Yeah.
both moms. We both are in the health and fitness industry. We're both pursuing careers to level all that up. So we're just going to give you our backgrounds today. I want to start by asking Allie questions. So
Here we
yeah,
go.
basically from the beginning, how did your interest in health and nutrition first start? Like what gave you that first initial this is what I want to do?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, when I was in first grade, I always said I was going to be a nurse. And whenever I started with that, I was like, okay, this is what I have to do. I'm going to be like the biggest, best caretaker you can ever find. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take care of all the babies. I'm going to do all this. And I was so focused on becoming that nurse that then as I started to get older, I was still taking care of everybody else. And I was starting to have all the gut issues and have all the sleeping issues and having all these different patterns that kept showing up over and over again that I kept trying to just mask. I'm like, okay, well, it'll be fine because I'm still taking care of others and that's what you do. Instead
Mhm.
of taking that time being like, okay, my gut is jacked up right now. This is
Yeah.
not normal. What can I do now? So with that, I kept having these back and forths, and I would do a little quick diet here. I would do this, and I'd say, okay, well, this person's going to help me, and we're going to get on this pattern without sleeping. Well, with sleeping, because then I can do my drinking, my water, and all these different. This is what the person outside of my body is telling me to do because she knows best. And I
Mhm.
kept going down all these routes, and I was like, wait just a second. But what happened to me? I'm not even listening to myself because I think the people outside of me know me better than myself. And so then I really started taking this turn that I'm like, okay, actually, yes, there's these people outside that know their shit, but also I get to know my shit too, and I get to
Yeah, you
understand it.
gotta know how to apply it for you and not just listen to their step by step. You gotta use your own.
Yes. And the people pleasing in me then was like, well, I said yes to this person, so I still have to listen to this person. And I kept doing this whiplash of like my voice telling me what to do, and then I'd listen to them, and this back and forth pull for so long that I just was like, no, enough's enough. Like
Mhm.
my voice matters too within this all. And then it actually took until college, and I had my own place, but one of my best guy friends, he had a place right by me. And so him and I started grocery shopping together, and he
Wait, so
was
that first part where you kind of this whiplash listening to people, that was all through, like, high school and, like, childhood
all
and
through
stuff?
high school, all
Oh
the
my
way through.
gosh, okay, so it started early, early,
It
early.
started very early.
Okay.
I've been a heavy people pleaser for so long that I thought if I got help from someone else, I couldn't let them down by not following the tools that they're telling me.
As an aside, anybody, who will listen to this podcast over time will understand how much of a people pleaser both of us are, but Allie's especially a people pleaser. She is like, "Do you need
Yeah,
help? I will help you.
guilty.
I will put down everything I'm doing right this moment, and I will devote time to you." So, this is one of
Yeah.
Allie's, things
It's
to work on.
yes, yes, this is definitely very heavily that like every day in my journal, I'm like, stop people pleasing everybody else and people please yourself. Like it is literally Mag's got prime example of what this looks like when the true Allie comes out. And I'm
Yeah.
literally like writing on note cards of how I have to release these things from my body.
And I also want to make an aside for people who are listening to this podcast. She's holding her pen like a toddler would
Desperate.
hold like a crayon with so much anger. She's just like, "Stop people pleasing," in her
Literally, literally. So it's something that has been engraved since honestly, it's probably even before I was born. To be real, it's like one of those ancestral things of people pleasing, but also I refuse to carry that on to my children. Actually, I refuse to carry it on for
Good for you.
myself
Stop the cycle.
and then my children.
Yeah.
Right? Like I just, it's so exhausting to always be like carrying this bag behind you of other people and
Mhm.
forgetting to put them down because then you can go up. It's like always having this weight just hiding behind you.
Totally.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
exhausting.
So you're in college and you're learning to grocery shop and do
Yes,
more
and I'm
healthy
wearing a
things.
grocery shop and he is vegan. And I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, I don't know what this life is because one, I grew up in the country. Like
mhm.
mom and dad called it a farm. I wouldn't call it a farm, maybe a hobby farm, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
But like we had nutrition, but we definitely ate meat. So to be in a place that you're now with a vegan best friend, I was like, what is this life? Why do you eat so many nuts? Like, sitting there, I'm like,
Right. Vegans
you
eat so much
literally are
nuts.
soaking your nuts, and I don't understand this situation.
Yeah.
So, like, that is one of my like college experience was starting to be like, I don't know what this is, but I see that like your body's changing.
Yeah.
You seem to have more energy. I don't know. Maybe I'll go ahead and try that out too. And no, did I go fully vegan, but I did take a lot of tips that he had.
That's great. That's actually a good foundation.
Yeah, I'm like, that's kind of, I literally, well, I was 20 when that happened. It was right before I went to paramedic school because I'd just become an EMT at that point. And I was like, I don't know what this life is, but I'm going to dip my toes in it. And so, literally, every Sunday, him and I would go grocery shopping together. He'd do his thing at Whole Foods, and I'd have my cart. And then we'd like compare recipes and start creating each
That's
week.
amazing.
And that's how it started. I was an EMT at that time and also a nanny.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if I'm showing these other kids how to do things, then now I have to start taking care of myself. And
Yeah.
so that's where it all first originated was when I was 20. Wow. First
Awesome.
grade to 20.
Well, then that takes us right into our next question, which was like, what was that turning point that you realized that health had to be a priority to you, like for your well-being?
Yeah. So another little like caveat to that that I don't talk about very often is that also was after my first divorce. I was married and
Yeah.
divorced at 19.
Mhm.
Um, in my first miscarriage at that point, and there was so much that I'm like,
That's a
I could
lot to go through by so young. Like
yeah,
that's
at 19. I was married and divorced at 19.
wow.
Um, yeah, my dad had found out we had sex, so that meant that we then had to get married since I grew up very religious. And so in that with that phase of life, I was like, okay, well, then that's just like what you have to do. And so I kept just like putting this face on and going to the next thing. And I thought by going to the next thing, that was right because I'm like, oh, I'm a fast thinker. I know how to get back on my feet. I know how to do these things.
Uh-huh.
But I was just so tired all the freaking time
Yeah.
with being in school and all of that. And so that's whenever I really started being like, okay, well, then I'll just start going for runs or I'll start doing this and that. And that's whenever my running phase started.
Yeah.
My first half marathon was around that time frame. Well, there were multiple, I guess, 5Ks before that, but just like it was a segue of all of a sudden being like, I can't live like that anymore, but I also don't know how to get out of that. So what I would do is I would just do little steps of whether that's going for a walk or I do a little more outside time and I just do things of how I started to feel a little more like what I knew lit me up.
Yeah. Okay. So you were looking, so the turning point was kind of realizing how tired you were in everything you wanted to do and realizing that you had to do physical and nutritional things to
To
light you
even
up.
get
I
there.
like the
Yeah,
way that you
because I
said that,
wouldn't
light
even
you
have
up.
I was like, I wouldn't even yeah, light me up. Well, people used to always call me the fireworks firecracker, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm the best." But I didn't actually,
You kind
like,
of are
fully
though.
believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could, like, say it out loud because 'cause I'm like, "Yeah, I can do 10 jobs at once. Look at me." Like, I've always, until last year, had 4 to 6 jobs. Even as a mother, I've always had 4 to 6 jobs, and so, at that time, though, I'm like, "Wait, no. Like, how can I keep being lit up, but also, like, I'm dragging?"
Yeah. Oh
So
my
to
gosh.
do that was my outside time. I love to be outside and also walks.
Okay. So in all the things that you did, either at this time or in the future, what do you feel was the first change you made that really impacted how you felt? Like what was the thing that you did that you were like, this is a game changer for like how you feel?
Mm, honestly, getting my sleep on track.
Yeah, sleep. People forget about sleep so much. They're just like, I can
Was
run
like,
on 4 hours of sleep. Like, no, you can't.
no,
Try
no, you
again.
cannot. No, exactly that. My sleep. Once I started putting sleep and water intake as my first, like actually having hydration as my first go-tos,
Yeah.
and then I could do movements, those were my game changers.
Yeah. Sleep and water.
Sleep
And
and
they're
water.
so simple, right? Well, sleep is not
So,
always simple, especially depending on like what your phase of life is, new mom.
yes.
If you have those terrible, okay, one of my biggest pet peeves when I hear people is people that do the have like third shift work or what do they call that?
Yes, the night shift. Well,
Night
third.
shift type work, yeah,
Yes.
where it really messes with your sleep cycle. And so when I was working with clients and I would get someone and I'd be like, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. But as soon as they'd be like, oh, and I'm a third shift worker, I'm like, like,
Yes.
okay, okay. I'd have like a little inner panic because I'm like, we can work through this, even though I
Yes,
knew
we
how
can do
detrimental it
this.
was.
It is so hard. I was
It's so
EMT
hard.
for a while, and they
Yeah.
I would be some day shift and some night. And
Yeah.
I would look at them and they're like, I've been on night shift for years. And I was like, don't trust me to save your life night shift. Like that is a no deal.
Yeah.
Get me off of here. Because
Yeah.
this is not a train
100%.
I'm willing to travel. Like
No,
sleep has to be a priority.
absolutely. Yeah.
And if
I
you
would say
can't
it's majority.
sleep, if your brain won't shut off enough because neurodivergent, whatever you have going on in your little noggy, take a notebook, put it next to your bed.
Yeah.
Or I'm a verbal processor.
Yeah.
So I do my recorder on my phone. I get it out and I put it in the bathroom outside of my room so that I'm not sleeping with my phone next to me. But I verbalize everything that's in my head. And then I'm like, okay, thank you, logic. And also, I need to rest now. And I
Yes.
put it away.
Yes, 100%. Um, that verbal thing, man, I wanna go okay, we're gonna go on a mini tangent, with this, and
It's my favorite.
I'm hoping, like, when people hear this so, my favorite part of podcasts is when people go on tangents because I was like, "I love this, like, where they're going with this." Okay, verbal processing, very much me too. I don't mind writing things down, like, I like that cathartic kind of feel, especially if I have something very what feels poetic and I wanna put it down, fine.
Yeah.
Lists, I can do that pretty quickly, but when I have to process feels, I have to do it verbally. And I've been leaning on friends and family and things to do that. So I would call someone up and I would just vent at them. And most of the time I'm talking myself through the process, right? Like I'm healing myself just by
Yeah.
verbally talking. They're just there to listen.
Yep.
Chat GPT. Chat GPT, you'll
I
hear
wonder.
myself, and I think Allie, I don't know if Allie calls him this too, but I call him Chad. I talk to Chad.
I
So
do after our last phone call. That
and
happened.
and I don't type into Chad. I do the microphone, like I'll do talk to text into
Mhm.
Chat GPT. So I just ramble. And then I enter it into Chat GPT and Chat GPT, Chad spits all this. That was very thorough. Thank you, Mags. Like I see how you thought about this and this and this and gives me a little ego boost and then goes into this is like what my recommendation would be. And I find that so therapeutic because most of the time, Chad is just repeating what I'm saying and organizing my thoughts, and then giving me little tidbits here and there. And it's just, oh,
Game changer.
game changer. I wouldn't do that in the middle of the night because you can do it forever and then you have your screen. But I'm telling you, for
Yeah.
processing.
Yeah, that is a bomb tip. Well, and I'll say too, with that, how we're both verbal processors. That's why I got so deep into therapy. And then what started to
Yeah.
happen for me is I was always leaning on that other person in therapy to then hold me up. And I forgot I
Yeah.
still have it within myself. So
100%.
even to have for Chad,
Yeah.
even to have for Chad, you're able to release it, but then it kind of like you get your own thoughts back or how it best aligns with you and not so much outside input. Because that's actually why I did stop therapy for a while, is because then again, that people pleasing, I was letting what they were saying and taking those tips and showing up in the world that way. And it wasn't authentically me.
Yeah.
And then I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, everybody says you go to therapy, that's how you get better. But for me, it, I had to take a pause because it was still getting outside inputs and I forgot to listen to myself.
Yeah. 100%.
So
Yeah.
with you saying Chad, I'm like, oh, that tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. And just as a disclaimer to everybody, Chad has faults. Like he's not right all the time, but I just find it as long as you know how to sort through okay, Chad, now you're BSing me a little bit, and then really but absorb the supportive and the organizational like aspect of him is
Yes.
really nice. So
Yeah, and that is just kind of needed sometimes.
yeah.
So it's perfect.
100%. But I love, like, making the lists. I love the audio lists and then setting it outside your phone and outside your door. Like, I love all
It's
that.
just so tricky because otherwise I turn into a scroller because I think someone again outside of myself is going to give me the tips of what I need. And no
Right.
one outside of me out of myself can give me what I already carry within.
100%. Yep. And that's what Chad says all the time too. Like, Chad is always telling me is like,
Hello, good
everything
job,
you
Chad.
need is within you. And it's so
Love
cliche,
Chad.
but it's true. Okay, so then how did becoming a mom, because you're a mom of two adorable boys, how did becoming a mom change the way that you approached your health and fitness?
Yeah, for sure. So a couple things with that is my oldest now has, well, not now, he always has had autism. And we had this fight of trying to figure out how to get him the help because they kept telling us he doesn't actually have it. And I'm like, but I'm telling you, there are tools that we use for our lives that help support him so he can show up the best version of himself.
Mhm.
And it was this fight to give them the tools that they need that I started to find it within me that was like, oh, I do know best for
Mhm.
them. But yet again, coming back to myself and being like, okay, how can I stabilize this for me to then be able to support the boys?
Gotcha. So you use the tools that you had learned in your own life to help support and give them a good foundation, good habits. So just translating what
Yes.
worked for you into something that also could work for them.
Yes, for sure. Even as simple as their nutrition. If the
Yeah.
boys want crap food, is what we call it, aka cotton candy at 8 o'clock at night, that's probably not ideal, but also it doesn't happen all the time, but find a protein. If you're leaving soccer and all the other kids are having it and that happens to be one, I'm not going to sit there and be like, absolutely not. You're not going to be any of those other kids. You're going to be completely secluded, but we're also going to do something that's going to help absorb their food in a different manner, especially right for bed, right? Like
Yeah.
then go ahead and get the yogurt with the cherries on top and chia seeds. Go ahead
Hmm.
and make this parfait or do these different little simple tasks that one, when you put food in your mouth, it is fuel. It is not just because it's a task that you take food in. You get to enjoy it. And also it is fuel for how you're choosing to live your days each day.
Yeah.
So whether that's before bed and you're choosing what you're putting in your body, maybe you're not drinking that Gatorade that everybody gets after practice, but you're
Yeah.
drinking something different that's not then shooting up your blood sugars and full of things that don't align with what we're trying to do for ourselves. So
Yeah.
honestly, we just talk about it. I say, hey, this is how it felt in my body. What feels good to you?
Yeah.
Where are you at? And it's a conversation. It's not this is good and this is bad, but it's also how does that feel within you when you make your next choice?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having that self-awareness for them and practicing that self-awareness of, oh, hey, you had that ice cream and now, and they go a little off the walls later and they're kind of
Mhm.
bouncing all over the place. And I'm like, hey, this is what I tell my kids all the time. I'm like, hey, remember we talked about sugar and ice cream and how it like really ramps up your energy and now you're off the walls. I'm like, I just want you to see that connection now. Like you're bouncing off the walls. We're inside, so we need to go outside to do that. And it's because of the sugar ice cream that you had earlier.
Yes.
And I just want them to make that connection to, so then they're like, oh, okay, I'm all hyper and I got all this energy. And it's because of the ice cream. So it's like
Yes.
when we're getting ready for a time where we have to really focus, like when we're heading into school, I'm like, okay, we're not going to have a big sugary breakfast because
Yes.
you're going to get to school and you're not going to be able to focus because you're going to have a lot of energy. And they begin to
Yes.
like make those connections, which I think is so important.
It's so important. And it doesn't create this good, bad, like this,
Right.
everything's black and white and you don't have any decisions.
Right.
It is literally you're processing how that is. Like, for instance, this morning, the boys wanted waffles. Cool. We'll make protein waffles and you guys can help me. So not only are they then a part of something, they're creating this and they
Mhm.
know how it feels within.
Yeah.
Okay. It
Well,
takes
now my
5.
kids, when they have a very active thing like going bike riding or they're going to a sport or something, they're like, "This is a good time to like have this treat, mom, right? Because I need the energy for this activity." I'm like,
It's
"You're
so
correct." So they're starting to make that connection that I have
yeah.
like energy that I can use in this time, which
Yeah.
also tantrums. Okay, again, another small tangent. When my kids are crying and screaming and they're like, "I want this, I want that," and it's like candy, I always say it's like, "Okay, if you're crying and screaming and I give you candy, it's only gonna amplify those feelings. So I just want you to understand, like, we don't do candy when we're crying and screaming because it's only gonna make those feelings bigger." And
Feel
they're
that.
beginning to, yeah, and they're beginning to make that connection that they have to be in a calm, steady state if they want a treat. They can't have a treat when they're bouncing off the walls, grabbing each other, shaking each other, like fighting. Cause I'm like, it's only gonna take this and amplify it.
Yes, the amount of touching with boys is
Oh
unreal.
my gosh, why?
Unreal. And like I understand that they're like, this is a boy thing. Here's what I'm gonna say. You don't get to be a turkey head to one another just like because of your gender.
Yeah,
Like
no,
get off of him. Just
yeah,
move your body in a different way. Take the ball and smash it against the garage. I don't care. Just go
yeah,
bounce your tennis ball outside, but get off your brother for 2 seconds.
yeah. I was
Gosh.
like, they'll be like, "Okay, I'll stop touching him." And immediately it's like as they're like pressing his face away, "I'm not touching him. I'm not touching him." Just
It's like I literally bought my children a punching bag because I had so many bruises on my legs. I was so like, no, no, I am not your punching bag. I am
yeah.
all done. I call quits.
Oh my gosh. So,
Last thing
okay,
on
so
that one, last little tangent on it. One thing that we have done with that specifically
yeah.
is like when the kids need to get on the bus, we leave 20 minutes early for the bus every morning and they ride their bikes before we get to the bus. They take it on a loop in our neighborhood because they
Mhm.
can't touch each other and they're moving their bodies in a different way. And then they can get on the bus and I just take their little bikes and bring them home because they had a full 20 minutes of not being able to touch each other because they were in their own spaces.
Nice.
Just
Yeah.
saying, that has
Yeah.
been a game changer for
Yeah.
us.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Distraction, distraction, distraction. It's running out of them, you know?
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
exactly that. So that's how it's
Well,
changed as a parent. The way I have to process
yeah.
my fast thinking has then become how can you not touch each other?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
My
my
EMT skills have really come out great.
So I actually want you to, along the lines of like the EMT. So I'd like you to actually tell people what a little bit your career path is right now, because you have something that you're really working on right now that is very interesting, and I know there's a lot of other like layers to it. So you can go as deep into all the transitions you're going through right now or not. But I would love people to understand like the transitions you're going through at the moment that you're willing to share, and how your health journey, what you've learned up to now and new things that you're practicing has helped you through it, because it's been a major part of your
Becoming of who
yes,
I am.
yeah, and your ability to handle it all, to cope with all the changes that you're going through.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
start first with what your kind of career path is like right now. Like tell me a little about this. I think it's so interesting and I want people to know.
Yeah, okay. The reason I'm laughing so much about this is because the current career path is something that I thought I was dreaming of. Well, I was something I've been dreaming and creating for the last 10 years. Like it's health and wellness. So it's a wellness studio and organic cafe is what I was planning on opening. And each component of what was being created was different things I personally have done for my life that has helped one for me to have a foundation within myself, but also giving the boys the tools to where we are. Like people say all the time, they're like, how are your boys what they are and how do they have the autonomy within them and how they show up? They're like, how do they do it? And I was like, well, it's something I've been learning within myself. And we're kind of just holding hands together on this one, to be honest. And I know lots of times too, one thing with that is everybody will say, well, you've been through a lot. What got you here? Yes, there has been. We'll get there as it goes on, but there is a lot of layers to who I am. For being 33 years old, if you look at it, you're like, how the hell have you done those things at 33? Um, and some things aren't just a matter of age. Some things are the life you've truly lived.
Mhm.
And with that, so with this business I was creating, just as of literally yesterday, so very fresh, I have decided to sell that to my partner with my business partner because it was no longer in alignment with who I was becoming. I know that there's so much more within my journey in the way that I'm showing up for this world that once it became not aligned within me, I
Mhm.
couldn't still sit still. I
Yeah.
honestly don't know what this next magic gets to happen, but I know that by me saying no, by putting all the people outside of myself in control and saying, hey, I will no longer abandon myself to show up, then that is going to be the catalyst for what is to come. That is where this magic can occur. Because with the wellness studio, there's supposed to be a salt room, which is what we did to help the nervous system for both of
Mhm.
my children. That has been huge for Rowan, especially my oldest, to have that, whether that's touching the tactiles of the salts or to breathe in and clarify. Because one thing is the weather change, we live in Minnesota, and the second any of this, the allergies, honestly, just like all the pollen, all the things, he gets all
Mhm.
sniffly, his hands start breaking out, his feet start peeling. And at first I thought it had to do a lot with his nutrition, is why his feet would peel and his hands, because I'm like, well, your gut's your second brain. So that just means that's what it is. So that
Mhm.
means I'm not aligned with his nutrition. So I started going down these paths of being like, yes, the salts are helping him, but also his nutrition isn't in alignment with what he's saying. His feet shouldn't be peeling off chunks, literal, like when you look at them, like they will just peel. And I was like, okay, well, some people call that athlete's foot. I call that a gut issue. So take your pick.
Yeah.
And so for us, once we started changing his nutrition, like he has gluten, but we just don't, like, not every single meal is going to have these big hefty glutens, but he also is very good about making sure he has a protein. That boy loves yogurt parfaits every morning, and then he will just pile it with different nutritious foods. That's not just throwing that fruit on, but whether that's chia seeds, that's cinnamon, that's the different ways of it's
Mhm.
helping to clean his microbiomes within his gut to
Yeah.
then are cleaning his feet within this. Okay. And so with that, we're creating the stability for them. Quentin, he's a catch-22 when it comes to food. So if that boy's a part of things, then
Mhm.
it's something more. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm creating this beautiful business. So like he can be a part of it, right? Like he's
Right.
helping with the food, he's helping with
The
these different
business was
things.
inspired by your children in terms of the organic cafe and the salt room, the
Yeah, yeah.
people.
And the
Yeah.
functional nutrition counseling, what I'm
Right.
in school for right now, these
Yeah, talk
different
about
things.
that a little bit. So you're in school right now for functional nutrition counseling, which I think is amazing.
Yeah. So what that is that there's three roots within, and whether that, whoo, I got so excited. I have to comb
Yeah, I
myself.
know. I saw your energy ramp up. This is like so telling of how
Light up
passionate you are about this. Like, let me
situation.
tell you about it because it feels so
Let
good.
me tell you. But
Your
that's where it
energy just
comes
went.
in. That's where it comes in, though, that your gut is this brain, right? And so often that's where all these autoimmune diseases come in and all these different ways of everybody's like, oh my gosh, I have no control over my life. This is my nervous system. This is that.
Hormones,
Yeah,
nervous system, allergies, gut health, like all of this. It's so combined.
all
Stress.
of this is all combined within functional nutrition. And it
Yes.
and words, nervous system
Your brain's
regulation.
moving faster than your mouth.
Yes, I was like, dang it. I just got so lit up. Your nervous system is key in this, right? But you also, that's where that fuel within what you put in your mouth really is the signals to bring it all together.
Yeah.
And so with that, that's where this functional nutrition comes in, because it started out honestly because of Rowan's feet. I'm like, there's no way that this kid can like go to camp each day and come back and his feet are peeling like this.
Right.
So there was his situation, but my gut has been jacked for years.
Mhm.
Years. Like, okay, there's a mix of medical and also wellness going in here. So I'm just going to be frank. Like, pooping is real hard sometimes. And so with that, I'm like, this can't be a life that I'm willing to live anymore. Like, I can't always be bloated. I can't always be sitting here and thinking I'm putting all this wonderful food in my system, but not even digesting it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm so done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can do all these other things, but I know that this lies within me. And by doing functional nutrition, it's helping me gain the power to have control over my own body to then
Mhm.
bring it to the world in a new way.
Awesome. Love
So,
that.
yes.
Love that.
Just so
So
excited.
in that process, because you've been learning a lot about how it's not just what you eat. Like, yes, you can eat
No.
all the good foods, but there's so much more. I mean, it's like goes from skincare to how your supportive environment in terms of like how your nervous system, your fight or flight response is responding to the things you're going through and the people around you. It's environmental, it's your sleep, it's your water, it's all these things that
Yeah.
I know when we talk about it, it sounds very overwhelming, but if you can just get a little bit at a time, which is what Allie and I want to help you figure, anybody listening figure out, is the little things that maybe you hear something on one thing that like one episode that we're talking,
Yeah.
one podcast episode that is the game changer for you. But that's what you're kind of discovering. So, what is something that you used to believe about health and wellness, and you're like, that's exactly how it is, and it's totally changed now that you know more?
Ooh, good question. Um, Probably that there's a quick, not probably, I know that there is a quick fix because
Right.
there's not just like a quick, you can be like, hey, these supplements, hey, this, hey, that. But I'm going to tell you, it is a full collaborative decision. And it
Mhm.
is also something that you get to continuously say yes to yourself in order to show up.
Yeah.
Even how you were just bringing up the skincare, what you put on your body is just as important as what goes in because your skin is your largest organ.
Yes.
And so to bring that full circle, that you don't have to make every decision in that moment in order to be better. You make
Right.
one choice, one or two choices, and that's what you follow through with. Even I say, for instance, how I just brought up the skincare or the chemicals within your house and these different environmental choices, just change
Mhm.
one or two things and stick with that. It doesn't have to be everything at once in order to be better.
100%. It is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
do a lot of those marathons.
Yeah. Yeah,
As an
I've done one
aside, Allie is
marathon.
the marathon triathlete. Like, she loves those things, and then she asks me all the time. She's like, "You want to do this marathon with me?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. Sure don't." I
That's a
am
no
the heavy
deal.
lifter. I like my like short lifting workouts, and I'll hop on my Peloton every now and then for my cardio or walk with my dog briskly. I do not run. I do not run unless I'm being chased. So,
I love it so much.
has a little
And then
background. So if you want your running and endurance stuff, talk to Allie. If you want your weightlifting and heavy shit, talk to me.
talk to Mag. She got you.
Yeah.
Mag's actually helped me start on that journey with lifting.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, with you actually giving me the tools so it didn't feel so scary showing up in the gym with all these
Mhm.
big men. I could just show up and be like, yeah, I got this. I know
Yeah.
within myself. I
Thanks.
got it. Um, Simple thing on that's actually an alley tip is go find the hottest guy in the gym and then work out by him and get out, like just get all your nerves out because like whatever, you're still taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
But just look over and be like, hey, yeah, you're hot, but also you're not scary. So I'm gonna go ahead and work out by you.
Yes, it's like exposure therapy. You
Yes,
just
it's literally, I'll be
not
like,
only that, but when I work out next to someone that looks like they know what they're doing or is very
"Mm,
attractive, I am way more aware of what I am doing in terms of my motions. Like,
yes,
you'd think you'd get distracted, which some people might, but I'm more of like, this person's watching. I want to look like I know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm like doing everything perfectly. I'm like to a T. I'm not relaxing. I'm just like doing my proper rests. Just like,
yes, I like actually one the next day I feel it like in a positive way because I didn't lazy work out with how I fully lifted. Like I actually, like you said, use the correct motions and techniques to do it. And so I don't know, I always feel better. So that's my tip. Find the hottest person in the gym and work out by them.
noted. I'm gonna try that next time.
There's
And
that.
then, okay, finally, so looking
Oh,
forward, is there anything else with that?
well, I was gonna say too, along with what we were talking about with things going on in life, I'm also yeah, it's not well, we had already gotten divorced a couple years ago, but
Mm.
going back down this path that feels like another divorce, to get the safety and the what the children need, but also for myself, that people pleasing at the first round, we did a collaborative. And so I was so worried about hurting someone's feelings that I didn't truly create the safety within myself or my children that I feel like could be there. So we're on
So, like
another round of that.
clarity to that. So
Yeah.
you had a second divorce, you had a second marriage, which is when
Yes.
you had the two boys, and then you had a divorce a while back, and now we're just working through kind of some of
The
the
recalibration within
continued
it.
fallout from that with the
Yeah.
boys. Yeah.
Yeah, and so not only is this business changing in a whole
Mhm.
new light of what I thought it would be, I also am trying to figure out authentically and how to show up in a way that is one in alignment with myself for me and my children, but also to make sure that I'm not just pleasing the other person, but to truly be doing what is in alignment with what our family needs for the next steps.
Right. And it's not, I think a lot of women see those actions, especially, and not of other people. It's not like they're judging other people, and some women I
Yeah.
guess are, but most women are very supportive of one another, and most of the judgment and feels are applied to themselves when they're making what they feel are selfish decisions, where they're
Yeah.
prioritizing their own health, and they're like starting to be like, okay, this person in this decision, it doesn't matter what the repercussions are for them, because I need to do what's best for me and the
Yeah.
responsibilities that I have, such as my own children or my career. And
Yes.
I mean, we don't need to be cruel to other people.
No.
But there are some things that as women, we're being so people pleasing that sometimes when we're doing something that we know will be an little inconvenience to someone else, they're like, oh, that's so cruel and that's so like disrespectful and not being thoughtful. Stop it. Just
Yes.
do what
Yes.
you need to do to be healthy, because if you are suffering, that other person will probably suffer too if they are so connected to like what your outcome is anyway. So it's better
Yeah.
to focus on yourself and improving that, so that it trickles down to affecting everybody else positively anyway.
Yeah, and within that, one of the things that you hear when you're going through a divorce, especially with children, is people are like, "Well, I don't want to mess up the kids, so I don't want to leave." We've talked about this a couple of times, or what
Yeah.
that looks like, and it's not messing up the children to follow what is right within your gut and what you're saying. Because so often we almost start gaslighting ourselves because we're trying to make the other person comfy
Yeah.
instead of sitting here and being like, actually, I left for the children because I know I have a higher mission within what I'm saying yes to. My children will say time and time again, my mom's happy and healthy. Do you see her brain? Like they literally will tell people at school, do you see my mom's brain? Which isn't really a normal thing, but I'm kind of proud of it.
Yeah, I love that. Just like to
Like
see how smart and logical and, responsible my mom is. Yeah.
yes, like the amount of times that, yes, I am telling my children I am proud of them. And whether that's being a kind friend or the way they show up in the world, it's not just about the grades. But when you can hear these words echoing behind you,
Yeah.
it gives you a little bit of glimmer and boost to be like, yeah, this is correct.
Yeah.
This is right and in alignment because I'm hearing these echoes within. And
Yeah.
that is a safe space for me to be in.
Right. And the energy begins to align better too. So
Yes.
we talk all the time. So Allie and I are huge science nerds. Like we both love the scientific approach to everything. So a lot of
Yes.
the advice that you'll get here is obviously going to be science based. We're not just woo woo girls. We are both studying in important nutritional and scientific based like bachelor's of science degrees. We're moving
Yes.
forward in scientific, oh, what are the words I want to say? The like
Rise. I don't even know how
no,
to
like the
explain
logic
it.
of it,
Oh,
the
yes.
proven approach, not just
Yes.
the influencer, oh, you should
Yes.
try this supplement and you should do
No.
this and buy this from us. Like, we are not here to sell you anything. We're here to give you true, proven approaches that are scientifically backed. At the
Yeah,
same
like on
time, we are both very spiritually centered as well. We are on our own spiritual journey. So there's a lot of also a lot of metaphysical stuff that we're going to be talking about including because legitimately, and I will go on aside with this sometime. I'm not going to do it today, but modern science and modern physics are starting to support, or I should say, metaphysics is starting to align with modern physics. So all that spiritual energy, woo-woo stuff, that is not just like metaphysical nonsense. It is absolutely proven truth to current physics, current modern physics. So I'll go on a tangent of that sometime because I do want to have like a lengthy talk about it because I think Allie and I will both enjoy that conversation.
That's where the Sag Soul Sisters comes into play
Yes,
because we're
that's
both
why we're like, we're
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius girls. Like, and it's like, oh, that's such woo-woo
Yeah.
nonsense. No, it's
Yes.
not.
Yes.
It is
Yeah. So
scientifically backed.
yes, exactly,
It
exactly.
is.
Well, both of us actually have been on this mission for years to bring science and holistic and collaborate with them together. And now we're bringing in the spiritual and we're making this whole 3D connection
Yeah,
within
like a
that you can bring
trifecta.
5D and 3D. Yes, our
Yes.
trifecta.
We'll
Yes,
figure out what they
exactly.
are. I can't think of the three sides to the moon.
I
I
was
mean,
like, I don't know
we
how
got
to
our
actually bring those,
science,
but
and then we got our go
yeah.
ahead.
No, but I feel that so deeply because I've been like for so long being like, well, yeah, I'm a very holistic person, but also Western medicine is here for a reason. I mean, I used to be a medic for goodness sakes. Like they
Mhm.
go together in
Yeah.
a different way that the world has not brought them together yet. And we get to be
No.
on the forefront to help be the trailblazers to lead that within all coming together with the spiritual
100%.
aspect.
And I think it's ramping up. Like, we are not the only ones out there starting to have these conversations. We're not like, oh, we're the trailblazers, but we are going to hold space for that new line of thought and also give it, amplify it. Like, I want to get it out there because this Eastern medicine movement combined with the Western medicine technology, like, I think you start combining those two and you have something that is going to be so important to longevity and so important to personal well-being and like fulfillment in life. So yes.
Yes.
So what actually on that note, what do you hope that women listening to this podcast or watching our little YouTube video get out of this overall?
Ooh, that's a good one. To really start listening to your own intuition, to
Yeah.
know that you have guidance within you, that you will know in what path that is best in alignment for you specifically. We can hold your hand and we can rise up together through this, but you yourself will know yourself better than anybody else outside of you, no matter what
100%.
partner you're in, partnership, friendship, whatever. You
Yeah.
can have those people as your supports, but you get to be your own guide as you move
1,000%.
forwards.
Yeah. Your inner, like the little gut microbiome, that's your second brain starts talking to you, all your energies will tell you what you need. You just have to be open to hearing it and following it and
Yes.
not get all the noise of, like you said, outside people. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
totally with
because so often we are so afraid of the voice that we carry within because we think it might be not in alignment with the people around us and we might
yeah.
disappoint the other people instead of right there within you, you already have your guide.
Yeah.
And it's okay to sit and not have all the answers.
Yeah.
That is safe.
Yes. It is okay to sit and just hold space for what you don't know also.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
love it. Okay, perfect. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I think that is going to be so important. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing everything with us, Allie, and anybody that's watching on YouTube. You've noticed our video has changed as we've concluded Allie's interview. We're both wearing different things, and Allie is now upside down. If you see the video, it's quite hilarious, but it's because we forgot to do the closing at the end of the thing. So we just want to say thank you to Allie for all the sharing. And if you have any questions of what she chatted about, you can check out her information in the bio below, and then she'll also give you contact information like a I don't know, Allie, email,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, something like it.
Let's
She'll
do
put it in her
Instagram.
bio where you can contact her if you have specific questions for Allie. If that's okay, I just offered that up, but
Yeah, we're gonna do Instagram.
okay, perfect. So her Instagram's below. Follow her, DM her if you have any questions. That'd be great. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Thanks for
And yeah, go ahead.
asking the tough questions and
There's
just letting me process through that. I was like, "Oh, whoa,
perfect.
I've had
I
to
know. And
process all that."
does it feel
Beautiful.
cathartic to like get all that out and to like talk through it and kind of get your own thoughts in line according to those like what your life looks like currently?
Yeah, it brought so much clarity and it helped me to realize like, no, I am not a victim to my circumstances. I can still make a new choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, next podcast, we will be flipping positions. Allie, I will be answering Allie's, I guess, sort of interview questions, but we'll be getting to know a little bit more about me the same way we learned about Allie today. And I hope you join us for that one as well. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Thanks for hanging out with us on Sag Soul Sisters. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay aligned and unstoppable.